Hey guys, in this video we'll be replacing the thermostat on my 2nd gen 6-cylinder Tacoma. Let's get this thing started. So the first thing we'll do is remove that plastic cover. And these are two 10 millimeters. Now we should be able to pull it up and then slide it off. And from the front of the engine, you'll be able to see that plastic piece right there. That's the thermostat housing. And we should be able to work around these hoses in order to remove it. So I did put a tray under here to catch any of the coolant that spills out when we remove that thermostat. So the first thing we'll do is undo that hose clamp here with a set of needle nose pliers and just pull it down. There we go. And then we can take a wire brush and brush the threads on these studs that hold this thermostat housing. Now let's hit those areas with some PB blaster. Let that soak for a bit. Now we can pull off this hose here. Just gonna rock it back and forth to break it loose. And I gotta make sure that the tray is underneath, which I do have it in my sight. Just let that spill out. And pull this radiator hose to the side. So now let's take a 10 millimeter and undo those 3 nuts. This top nut should be easy enough with a ratcheting wrench. So ratcheting wrench up top. There we go. Got that nice and loose. Almost off. Undo it the rest of the way by finger. Just be very careful. You don't want to drop this. Got that one off. Alright, now if you can't go short, you go long. I have this 10 mil on a universal joint and an extension. Basically just get that secured on that nut. That whole setup is secured on that rear nut. And as you can see, we have the extension going out to here to the oil filter. So now let's undo that. There we go. Same thing here, guys, but this time I got a wobble socket on a 3/8 drive since it's more straight. Just go from the front here. So you see the socket right there with the wobble extension right there. Now let's undo that thing. Now we should be able to pull this thermostat off. And yep, we have more coolant coming through. So I'll pull this hose slightly away, and there is our thermostat. Looks like it's got a lot of gunk there. Yeah, someone put a lot of sealant on there. So that wraps up all of the removal. I'll be going over the details of the troubleshooting steps at the end of the video, so make sure you really stick around all the way to the end. Also, if you do like these videos, make sure you also check out our store. That really helps us out with making these videos for you guys to follow. Our most popular product right now are these combination map light and dome light MOLLE systems. So check them out. Link will be in the description below. Now let's get into the final installation. Alright, I've been out here for about 26 minutes and as you can see I'm freaking sweating profusely. So before I put the new thermostat in, I'll take a little break and I'll put this in boiling water. to test if this was really the issue. So the way the thermostat's supposed to work, once this thing gets super hot, like boiling temperature wise, that valve right there should open up and allow more coolant to pass through. But if it doesn't, that means this is our source of failure. Now we're basically at boiling temperature here, guys, and you can see the thermostat did open up. That valve right there, you see that? Opened up and is basically going to allow the coolant to pass through once the engine gets up to temperature. Right there, you see that? So as you can see there, it's starting to close now that I have it exposed to air. You see that valve starting to shut right there. But I'll put it back in boiling water so you can see it a little bit better. There it is with the new thermostat. See that gap? So this is the unfortunate situation with this whole overheating issue, guys. It looks like the thermostat itself is not the issue. So I'll just put the new thermostat back in. Now we'll have to basically do a major overhaul here with the cooling system. I'll definitely replace the radiator, and while I'm in there, might as well replace the water pump. So for now, I'll clean up the ceiling surfaces there. Looks like there's definitely a lot of RTV that was used there, and I'll just put the new thermostat back in. Then I'll do some more research on parts and see what other things we can replace while we're tearing that cooling system apart. This silicon or whatever RTV they use there, it's going to be very difficult to completely clean up. So I'm just going to wipe it down as much as I can with a microfiber cloth. And this whole assembly has to come off anyway when I do the water pump, so I'll do a better cleanup then. But for now, I'll put the new thermostat in with silicone grease on the O-ring, and we'll just reassemble everything. We'll be using super lube to grease up the O-ring on the new thermostat here. Tiny bit should be enough. Now we can put this thermostat on the underside here, back onto the assembly. Just doing the reverse of the installation should be pretty straightforward. And these nuts, I'll snug them down and torque them down to 80 inch-pounds. Alright, now let's take this coolant hose and feed it into the new thermostat. Just like that. Alright, so now let's get that hose clamp back up top. So that wraps up this installation. If your thermostat didn't open when you did the boiling water test, or it was already stuck in the open position, congrats. You guys are done. You found the problem, and you can go ahead and top off your radiator and reservoir with the proper coolant, and go ahead and also test that out. Remember, you always need to validate and test your work. Now, if your situation is the same as mine, then unfortunately, you do have more work to do. So I'll go through the overall troubleshooting steps all the way from the top before even doing any of the thermostat replacements. Number one, always keep an eye on your engine temps. If it's climbing, it's already a bad sign. So it's better to address it as soon as you can see it going up. Number two, you want to check your coolant. If it's low, top it off and retest it by driving around and warming it up, and then you'll have to go back underneath and inspect where any of those hoses or any of those components are leaking. You probably have a coolant leak and you'll need to figure out where. Now, in the event that when you take off that radiator cap and it's freaking dirty and it has that milky, frothy shit on the cap, then unfortunately you have a head gasket leak. And as a temporary fix, so you can at least drive for a little while, you can get one of these bottled head gasket sealant. I've never personally used them, but I know Chris Fix has done some testing, and I mean, it's only a few bucks, like 20, 30, 40 bucks, and it will get you out in a pinch. So in reality though, if you have this, you definitely will need to replace your head gasket, and you probably have a warped block or head, which you will need to address. And that is a freaking pain in the ass. I've done that on my Ninja 600 before, and definitely not fun. Number 3, you'd want to clean up your radiator as best as you can without removing anything. I used a foam cannon and sprayed it with low pressure water. This will at least get as much of the gunk that's clogging those cooling fins. Number 4, change your thermostat and test out the old one. Just like what you saw in this video. It's cheap enough and easy enough to replace. And I'll link the OEM replacement down in the description below. Now last but not least, replace your radiator and your water pump. I'm just opting for both because a new water pump really isn't that much more expensive, and the radiator needs to come off anyway in order to replace that water pump. Now if you replaced all 3, so there's thermostat, radiator, and water pump, then that basically refreshes the 3 major parts of your cooling system. So that basically wraps it up for today. In the next video, we'll be replacing the radiator and the water pump. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe if you haven't yet. And until next time, peace out everybody.